Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hear Me Out Pitch, or welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch if this is your first time. If this is your first time, you might want to go back and watch or listen to some of our previous episodes.
Yeah.
But I'm Tim,
I'm Willem.
and this week we're gonna just jump right in.
There's not much to say. The reason why you're listening to this one is to finish up last week. So yeah. I'm gonna shut up, sit back. Maybe I'll talk, but for the most part, this is all Tim's. Because last time, it was getting a little spicy after we witnessed a few Jedi get slaughtered by Kylo Ren. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I should be functioning a little bit better than last week. My brain, at least. I just woke up from a nap like 15 minutes ago.
I woke him up. It was me.
It was a very good nap. But yeah. So again, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, go listen to it now. You're gonna get some big spoilers and stuff, and the stuff isn't gonna make sense to you. In all reality, if you haven't listened to any of my Star Wars episodes, go back and start with my episodes 7 and 8.
Fantastic.
I'm very proud of them, and then come back and listen to these two. This episode will finish out my Star Wars trilogy, my remake of the final Skywalker trilogy. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. If you don't remember last week,
go watch last week. I'm just kidding.
Go listen to last week. But I ended with Kylo Ren's scene where he kills a couple Jedi. Babay. And what was it? Stefan,
Babay and Stefan.
And we're able to, we see the Force inhibitors stuck in his arms, and
he's huge.
He's jacked.
He's
So getting into it, we're gonna cut from that whole Kylo Ren scene, and we're going to cut to Han Solo.
Oh.
We're gonna see blasters. We're gonna see the lasers flying by. We're gonna see Han Solo running, and he's a little bit older. This is what did we say? 20 years after?
I think we want to say like 15 to 20.
So this will be this episode will probably be around 20
when the first one came out.
Yeah.
I mean, the first of
my episode 7.
I imagine the Harrison Ford maybe like a couple years younger than in if anyone's seen Age of Adeline, what he looks like in that movie, that's what I try to imagine.
Or how he looks in Ender's Game.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie was so...
We'll talk about that later.
Such a perfect cast. Anyway.
It really was.
Okay,
but yeah, so we'll cut to Han Solo, and he'll be running, full sprint, out of breath. He's got his blaster out, his classic blaster that we've seen with him in every single movie ever. And he'll be running through the halls of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Go back to our episode. Go back to episodes 1 through 3. We're all very familiar with the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. And so he'll be running through the halls of the Jedi Temple, and he'll turn, or he'll kind of slide around a corner, grab the wall, use that as a pivot spot with his momentum, slide around a corner, and we'll see Chewbacca, and Chewbacca he'll slide like underneath Chewbacca, underneath his arm, as Chewbacca's kind of sticking his head out, and he's growling, and he's got his arm cannon, his new arm. He's got it out.
I imagine it turns into one of his the crossbow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how I imagine the his new arm is, very, very Mega Man style. It goes from being an arm into a gun very quickly, and his arm turns into his old bowcaster. And there'll be a scene somewhere where he'll activate it, and it'll come out, and you'll see the two arms of the crossbow flip out and extend a little bit, and it'll just look really cool. I can imagine it in my head. I can't describe it.
A very close-up cinematic
yes.
reveal, kind of like how an Iron Man suit up.
Yeah.
So cinematic, and Han just looks. I just imagine though Han looks at his hand, looks at it. I should get one, and then Chewie just.
Yeah. Well, in Episode 7, in the actual one, in The Force Awakens, he kind of does that, right? Because Chewbacca's using the bowcaster, and it's absolutely destroying the First Order troopers, and Han is like, "Can I try?" And he takes it, and yeah,
try it.
But yeah, so we'll see that, and
so
Han.
What are they doing? Never mind. Nope.
Han will be running, and Chewbacca will blast a couple. He'll shoot a few more Uzun. As it's revealed, they're the ones shooting at them.
They're crawling on the ceiling and everywhere.
They could be, actually. Be kind of creepy, but they could be.
It's a dark temple. Because it's Coruscant, and this one's abandoned.
No. So the Jedi Temple used to be the seat of power of the Emperor.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
This is the one where Anakin did some bad stuff in the third movie.
Yeah.
So do you think that the Jedi... So in your universe, you think the Jedi would have used it again? Because honestly, I don't
it's
know
a
if
conduit.
I would've.
It's a conduit for the Force. The whole point of building the Jedi Temple there, originally it was a Sith temple. And then they built the Jedi Temple over it because it's still conduit for the Force. So it's just like a game of
capture the base? All right. If that's the case, fine. And for me, I just feel like a lot of bad memories... So everyone wants it. It's something that the Sith and Force crave.
In this case, it's less a case of we're trying to restore the Jedi Temple, and more of a case we're trying to get stuff out of it that belongs to the Jedi.
It belongs in a museum.
Yep. But yeah, so Han Solo and Chewbacca will be running. They'll continue running. They'll be shooting behind him. Chewie will growl as he does, and Han will say that was the last of them. We need to go. And so they'll run out, and they'll come to the landing platforms, and you'll see the Millennium Falcon, and they'll board the Millennium Falcon, and as they board, Han will yell, "Get us out of here!"
You gotta have him scream, "Punch it!"
Yeah, punch it. Sure. Something like that. A very Han Solo line.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. They'll get to. They'll come to the main passenger room, right where Chewie and R2-D2 played holotactics. At one point, in the first movie, we'll come to that. They'll come to that room, and we'll see a handful of people in the room, including a couple Jedi that we've seen before. That we will recognize them from Episode 8. Just a couple that were kind of in the background doing stuff, walking by, etc. And a couple, we'll see a few injured that are laying on the floor that are being tended to by a couple droids and maybe a couple of the other Jedi. And he'll end up talking to... Han will come up to a Jedi, one of the Jedi, and they'll end up talking. They'll end up talking, and we'll call this guy Jedi Jeff. just for kicks and giggles.
Jeffrey.
So Han and Jedi Jeff will be talking, and they'll mention Jedi Jeff will mention something about how if they really want to win, they're gonna need Luke and Leia, especially the army that Leia is out trying to make, trying to put together.
Using her diplomatic side more than her Jedi side.
Yeah. She was a senator.
No, she was. No, I'm not saying
so
like
she's
it makes sense that
she's very good at public speaking and convincing people to do things. There's a reason that she ended up as a general.
Sorry, I know. Really quick.
No,
brief.
you're good.
Jedi in the first 3 movies, they typically weren't on any form of like. They had their own council, but they weren't like council people. They weren't like part of the thing. They were like their own separate delegation.
They were their own separate thing, but they had influence in the Senate.
And that was what was annoying.
Yes.
But now we have a Jedi. Not only is the daughter of Darth Vader one of the major causes of all this, but the sister of the Jedi who helped bring everything back.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also the adopted daughter of a great congressman who passed away.
Bail Organa, the most.
I loved his character a lot.
Anyway, I like Bail Organa. He's a good guy.
So point being, I think it really is awesome that we're seeing not only is Princess Leia now, well, I can never say she became like a crowned leader.
No, because she was a princess of Alderaan.
But Alderaan's
kind of.
I would say that she is the unofficial queen.
Yeah, I wish
she had like a little like Alderaan. I've been imagining she has a little Alderaan pin, like it's like a thing that have all these. Because I bet you that. Anyway, point being, mm-hmm. I love what she is in this. It makes more sense to me that she's a mix of everything. You have the general, you have the diplomat, and you have the Jedi, and it's just what everything Leia was meant to be.
Yeah,
and just we didn't get to see a lot of her. I know Carrie Fisher couldn't do a lot, and she did pass. We love her and we miss her, but this to me feels like Leia.
Mm-hmm. I certainly hope so.
I loved Leia as a kid. Of course, we all had a crush on her, but still, it's she is a great character.
Her character is one of the best written in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Out of the main 3 characters, Han, Luke, and Leia, I think Leia's character, at least aside from the Jedi side of things, I think her character is one of my favorites, just because of who she is and what she stands for.
She's just as interesting as her brother, if not a tiny bit more, because she defied Vader when everyone else just got. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so they'll be talking, and Jedi Jeff will say that they can't win without Luke and Leia. And Han will say they're coming. They've got to be coming. I'm no Jedi, but I feel like they're coming. You know.
You can have a bad feeling. Like he could. Yeah. I have a bad feeling.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Very seasoned person would tell, like, I know when someone's going to attack. It makes sense. You don't need to be a Jedi to have a bad feeling. I'm sorry.
That's your spot. I was just reading my notes and I'm like, hold on, that makes no sense. But that does make sense. Yeah, so they'll be talking. Han will say, I'm no Jedi, but I feel they're coming. And then the ship will shake, and Han will be thrown to his butt, and he'll get up, he'll run to the cockpit, and he'll say, "What's going on?" And we'll see Poe is the one piloting, and at this point, Chewie's made it to the cockpit. He's co-piloting, and. Yeah, so Poe will end up saying something to the effect of,
The Emperor's still alive. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No.
sorry. Go. Sorry. It was right there.
The most controversial line in the whole.
Stupid. Yeah. Sorry. What will
Poe say?
Somehow
he survived.
What will Poe say?
He'll say something to the effect of, "There are a lot of ships chasing us, and they are closing in fast. It's gonna be tight." Chewie will growl, and Han he'll nod and be like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so Han and Chewie will race, and they'll get to the guns, and they'll fly around. We'll see the ship flying, and we'll have a very. It'll be very similar to when in Episode 4, when Han and Luke are manning the guns and they're taking out the TIE fighters. It'll be something very similar to that.
That's immediately, and I know that you said last episode you are doing all these callbacks because even though this is its own thing, you need to pay homage to what came before it, as you do with all stories and all books. So.
Well, and here's the thing. For me, doing the callbacks, right now, this year is 25 years since Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Star Wars Day just happened, and I don't know. I just feel like a bunch of these callbacks would be good. And we just did our episode about Wish not too long ago, a few weeks ago, and we talked about how that being the 100th anniversary movie had a lot of callbacks, and it got me thinking, what if Episode 9, the finale of the entire Skywalker saga, imagine if, what if maybe there were a bunch of callbacks to all the other movies?
It's a swan song. It's a love letter. Yeah. It's a thank you.
Exactly. And I'm imagining, there will be repeat lines and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to have the "I have a bad feeling about this" because that's in every single movie. And you've got to have some conflict between main characters, bickering, but you've also got to have iconic moments.
Say a Nerf herder, it's got to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, so they'll get into they'll take the guns, and they'll start taking out the Uzun ships one by one. And you'll notice these Uzun ships have markings. Instead of being all black, sleek arrowheads, just straight fighters, these ones, some of them have markings. And they'll all be different colored markings. We'll see some orange, we'll see some green, some red, some white, some lighter gray, darker gray, and they're not. Imagine, right, the TIE fighters, or not the TIE fighters, the X-wings.
Yeah.
Right. Luke Skywalker's X-wing was red 5, had red 5 5 red stripes.
Red 5, checking in.
Imagine something similar to that. This would be a way for them to, be able to communicate to each other, hey, blue circle, I'm not saying that's what it is, but blue circle, you got somebody on your tail. It's just an easy way to communicate between ships.
Or a darker thing you can do is they're painting over the first ship they've blown out of the sky, or they just found the idea of painting their ships interesting because they adapt. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
It could be, it actually could be they're marking the ships that are marked. They've marked the same as the ships the first ship they killed. They're
getting so ugly and distorted because it's showing how, I knocked down 3 red wings. I knocked down 3 blues. Because these little guys are starting to go, these people like their colors. They like to display what they've done.
How about we do the same? Yeah, something like that could be really cool.
And I imagine, because they can't really, turn their head, but I imagine if they ever looked at stuff, they look at stuff for a long time, and they look at each other, and they just go, and they like it. They just go, adapt, learn. overcome. Like I really have been thinking about these guys. They're the closest. I think I mentioned it, and I don't know these little guys too well, but the Daleks, these little snake-like little Daleks that go adapt, overcome.
Daleks are not snakes.
I know they're not snakes, but I very much. But the idea in my head of these little analytical adapting guys.
Yeah, they think very analytically.
I think their personality of a Dalek, just kind of like.
Yes.
The sassiness. It would only need one to kill all the Cybermen. You're like, oh, geez. Anyway, I like the sass. They're very sassy, but they also terrify me. They're evil R2-D2s. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, kind of.
Sorry. I like them, if you can't tell. They've grown on me. I was judgmental the first movie, but by now I'm like, I could see them. I like him a lot. Also, they're huge. Anyway, dang it!
They're a lot bigger than Willem thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see the ships, and you know they'll end up taking them out one by one, and they'll fly some loops, and they'll fly through the main city, down into the main city, and fly around, try to make sure they've actually lost the Uzun behind them. And they'll come to on Coruscant. There's the kind of that factory area right in episode 2 where Count Dooku meets with Emperor Palpatine. We'll end up going somewhere like that. They'll land and they'll assess the damages. Han will get out. He'll look around, and you'll see a few burn marks, and other than that, there's nothing crazy. And they'll go inside this warehouse where we'll see it'll be almost kind of a mini mock-up of the inside of the Jedi Temple, because inside are hundreds of people, and many of them are Jedi. Not hundreds of Jedi, but hundreds of people,
including
Jedi.
Maybe like one for every 5 or one for every 10.
One for every 10, maybe every 15. And we'll see some other familiar faces. Maybe we'll see Ahsoka Tano back there talking with people, or some people that maybe we've recognized.
Cal Kestis.
We might see Cal Kestis. Maybe see BD-1 run across.
That honestly would be a time where I could see Rex. Like old man Rex in like a floating wheelchair thing.
I don't know. I feel like...
I know
me personally, I feel like Rex would be on the ship.
Okay. I know you want him to... Or even just a few... Or maybe there's just other old men. And it's just other clones. And it just gives you like hope. Like, oh, they've been treated well.
Yeah, maybe we see...
You see like a group of 10 of them.
Mm-hmm. See Commander Wolf or something.
Like old... They look like a bunch of old vets. But they all look the same. Like, those brothers are... those are clones. Shh. Like, all these little kids are pointing at him. Oh.
But yeah, they'll go inside, and they'll make their way to into one fairly decent sized room where we'll see a holo projector that it'll look very quickly thrown together. Like it's not part of the original infrastructure. It's just been put in there so that they can they can communicate with people.
Yeah.
And they'll end up talking, and Han will end up talking with one of the Jedi there, and the Jedi will tell him they've been jamming our communications this whole time. We still haven't figured out how to break past. And Han will think for a second, and he'll be like, I might have an idea. Clear some space, and then we'll cut. You'll see what I'm talking about in a moment.
Okay.
We'll talk. Then we'll cut to to Leia, and she'll be talking with some alien diplomats or something. They'll be talking, and she'll be like, "Thank you for aiding our cause. We won't let you down." It'll be a very diplomatic conversation where they're talking about how, Leia will be grateful for the help, and any help and all help is welcome. And then Rey will end up coming up and talking to Leia. And as Rey is talking to Leia will kind of space out. And we'll hear Rey's words being stretched and warped, and we'll do the cool cinematic like turn where we are looking at Rey, and then we'll cut across the back of Leia's head, and on the other, and then when we come back, instead of seeing Rey standing there, we'll see
Luke?
Anakin Skywalker.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
The ghost of Anakin Skywalker. And next to Leia will be Luke. They will be in a shared Force vision.
It's a family ghost call.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I thought this would be a really cool thing to throw in there.
I think it's cool. And so are you imagining that young? Are you Hayden Christensen, or are you kind of thinking of? Because I suggested Kelsey Graham, the guy from Frasier.
Yeah.
As an older Luke. So who would you want the audience to kind of...
Honestly, I think Hayden Christensen would work.
Okay.
I don't know. I just...
I'll say for anyone who really loves Hayden, go with Hayden. But if you're uncomfortable with the idea of a father being younger than his kids, then I would suggest Kelsey Grammer. And if you don't know who that is, then never mind. Forget I suggested it. I suggested it a while back.
He looks like an old Hayden Christensen. He really does.
And honestly, Hayden's getting to the point.
He is getting old.
But
it's been 25 years since episode 1.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. But I think the reason why I suggested Kelsey is because he does have that noble stance about him, and he's like good friends with Mark Hamill. Like they've played brothers before, so I think he would rock the chemistry with these two.
Well, and he might. It could be either way. It could be either way.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm totally doing tangents. I'm going
to shut up. You're good. Luke will address Anakin, Father. It's good to see you. Leia will also address and Father. It really is good to see you. It's been a while since
no disdain from her.
No.
Everything's forgiven.
Side note, real quick before we get into this.
Better be quick.
Originally, Leia hated her father.
Absolutely.
She knew what he'd done, and she was personally hurt because of the things that he did to her. Right? Torturing his own daughter, etc. And then later she ends up, I believe, I can't remember if it's Tatooine or Naboo. She ends up going to one of the two places, and I honestly, it's been a while since I read this or heard this or whatever, but it's either a vision or a video or something, a hollow memory, but she sees young Anakin Skywalker as a kid with the pod racer, and her heart softens and she's able to forgive her father. So by this point, she's forgiven
clarifying
him.
That, because
yes.
I'm trying to imagine, is there a little bit of so? But at this point,
no. At this point, she
no
is
resentment from either of them.
She was able to separate Anakin from Darth Vader, and see them as two very different people. But yeah, so they'll greet each other, and Anakin will say, Kylo Ren is tampering with the very nature of the Force. And he'll tell them that he's seen where Kylo Ren, through the Force, he's seen the future, and he's seen that Kylo Ren will end up on Coruscant, so that he can use the Force conduit that is the Jedi Temple, the old Jedi Temple, to power this weapon, a weapon that he has been building. That he'll also explain, or Leia will ask, is there any way that we can defeat him? He is way more powerful than he should be.
He's pretty beefy.
He's chonky.
He's chonky.
And Anakin will say, or he'll explain that since Kylo Ren has used the Force inhibitors to connect himself so strongly to the Force, he's tethered himself to the Force in a way that he's fortified himself against outside forces, outside sources
no one can
of
tamper with him.
The Force, in a way that you've got the Uzun, right, who are incredibly Force resistant.
Yeah.
Right. It took Luke's and Mara Jade's full strength to just push Sec
like a couple feet,
20 feet maybe.
Yeah.
15, 20 feet. Imagine that. But you get all of our Jedi that we've introduced. We get Finn, Ben, Rey, Leia, Luke, and Mara Jade, all 6 of them, right? At full power, all of them are pushing, and they can maybe move him 10 feet, 5 feet, maybe 5 feet. Like, he is
like
so...
a good push.
Yes.
Like a general shove. Not inhuman shove, just I shove you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's all those grown
together,
adult Jedi.
pushing him at full power, a full push, as hard as they can move him maybe 5 feet.
That's insane.
That's how fortified he's become. And so, but he'll also, Anakin will also explain that because he has become so connected to the Force, he has made himself vulnerable to the Force itself. Imagine the Force as a being, right? The Force itself would be able to affect Kylo Ren much more than Luke and Leia could affect Kylo Ren, if that makes any sense. And so they could use that to their advantage. That's the whole reason that Anakin is able to sense the future about Kylo Ren. Being as tethered to the Force as he is now, he's able to, or what he's doing, what he will do, is able to be shown through the Force a little bit better. Ultimately, they'll have a conversation. They'll keep talking, and they'll talk about how Kylo Ren needs to be stopped before he can assume full power. They still don't know exactly what he's doing, why he's on Exegol doing what he's doing. He needs to be stopped, and they need to get to Coruscant so they can, for one, attack the Uzun, make sure that they're ready to be attacked, and make sure their fleets, their armies are ready. But also, they need to make sure that the Jedi are ready for Kylo Ren and his knights. Anakin will say that the Force has revealed to him how Kylo Ren can be stopped. Not if he will be, but how he can. And it's only through the only way he can be stopped is through the Skywalker bloodline. Whether that be Luke or Leia, since at the moment they are the only 2 Skywalkers. They'll need to defeat him before he assumes complete control over the galaxy, like our boy Palps did. And he fears that if Kylo Ren takes control, he'll wipe out the galaxy entirely to make way for his rule over the Uzun, so they can rule the galaxy unopposed. They'll come out of the vision, and Leia will turn to Rey, and Rey will be like, what just happened? You just kind of zoned out for like 10 minutes.
Comes back.
What's going on?
It's like, Royal, Leia, what's going on? Like
Master.
Master, sorry.
Yeah.
Master.
What's going on? What happened? Leia will turn to Rey, and we'll see that Leia is on the floor. She's propped up against the wall, and we'll see a couple people around her, mostly just Rey in front of her. What's going on?
C-3PO
what happened?
Out of nowhere. Oh my!
We really could actually. That could be nice actually to see C-3PO there.
I haven't seen him yet.
No, I don't know if I've put him in here yet.
I feel bad.
I don't know.
I was about to ask, like, where have those
maybe C-3PO has been with Leia and Rey the whole time. I feel like he would be.
And R2 would probably be more with Han and
Luke. He'd be with Luke.
You think he'd be with Luke? Oh yeah, he was.
R2 is Luke's. R2 is Luke's droid.
Yeah, because Luke looked at him at the beginning and said, "Stay." And him and you have to make a little robot with Mara Jade, the cute KT robot. Have you heard about that little pink robot? Really quick, there's a little pink droid out there. I don't remember the 2 number initials, but it's KT, and she's named after a little girl who passed away, and her father is the founding mother of the 50.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
So, I think KT would be the perfect droid for Mara Jade, and I know that Katie's father would have appreciated something like that, not just a little nod.
I like it.
So
I like it. I think that works. Leia will stand up and she'll look at Rey and she'll say, "We need to get to Coruscant now. We need to get these fleets together. We need to go to Coruscant now." Kylo Ren is on the move.
Does Rey? Not Rey. Would you say Leia uses blaster and lightsaber still? Especially after having a brother.
Maybe she has a blaster, but I'd say her main weapon would be the lightsaber.
That'd be funny if one fight, really quick, just one fight, she gets her thing knocked out of her hand somehow, knocked out, and just Indiana Jones style shoots, and she goes, "Do you forget who my husband is?" But also she's like, "I learned how to shoot first before I don't know. I can see that scene happening.
Leia shot first.
Yeah, Leia shot first sort of thing. Kind of. But I've just been curious, like, I imagine that she hides the lightsaber and when she's diplomatic and the blaster's on her side. And then whenever they're like, "Oh, please give us all of your weapons," she puts give us all of your blasters. And they all put their blasters respectfully, but then she always has her lightsaber hidden. Whatever. It's in her hair.
Crazy hair, dude.
I have read a book and a female assassin hid her weapon, or she hid something in her hair. She hid a vial of dragon's blood in her hair. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Anyway, so they got to get the fleet to Coruscant now.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Basically, the battle is about to begin, whether we want it to or not. And they'll talk about how they might, on their way, they might be able to convince one more system to join them, but they probably don't have enough time.
Is that system important?
I don't know. Maybe.
You'll
Maybe.
I
don't have to say.
You'll wait and see. Okay, Mr. DM.
Rey will turn to Leia and say, "All right, let's get everybody ready. Let's do this."
And I want everyone to remember, the job of this is the job of these pitch meetings is not to write a full-on script We're getting a general idea, so please do not come at us ever when we make up these movies that we don't make up, like, interactions very well. We're just trying to get a rough draft. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah. It's a Star Wars movie. If we really wanted to get, like, the whole dialogue and everything in, it would take...
And if it sounds clunky, guess what? That's how most Star Wars movies sound anyway, so it's fine.
That's very true.
I could not... If I ever had to co-write one, sorry, it would sound way more... It would sound like, you know what? Ooh, random thing. The shows do way better dialogue-wise than any of the movies. I enjoy the way people speak in all the shows, animated shows, and series more than any of the movies. Just saying. I don't know why they felt they had to be all clunky, but the TV series, like Clone Wars, some of those episodes, masterful. Very well written. There's my little tangents. I told you I talk every now and then. I'm just going to back away now. I'm just going to...
Which really means he's going to let me talk for 2 minutes. And
whoa, Tim, I've done way better. We've gotten like 40 minutes in, and you've done like...
I'm just messing with you.
But you know what? I'm just kidding. Sorry. So, Rey.
Yes. So, Rey will turn to Leia, and she'll say, okay, let's get ready. Let's do this. And we'll cut... Leia will say, I really hope the others are ready for this, and then we'll cut to Luke, and Luke will be coming out of the vision.
I hope everyone is ready for this.
Yeah, Luke will be coming out of the vision, and we'll see that he's meditating, and he's been in the typical meditation stance, crossed legs. He's got his hands on his knees.
Yeah.
Classic Jedi
I totally
meditation.
Imagine he's floating, but he's probably not.
He could be, actually, because it's Luke. He could be.
So I know I just said that, I just kind of imagine Leia says, I hope everyone else is ready for this. Mm-hmm. And I see Luke coming out. So as we transition, it shows Luke's. So close up, Leia's face. Crosses to Luke's face, opening his eyes, and he's meditating, and he goes, I hope everyone's ready for this. Just a smooth sibling transition.
I think that works.
They both came out of this meeting fully understanding we need to be ready, and just kind of showing, it's a twin thing.
Yeah, twin telepathy. It's a thing.
So I just imagine for that part right there, it's just been too much to pass up. Like, hope everyone's ready for this. Goes to the other Skywalker twin. I really hope everyone's ready for this.
Yeah. He'll come out of the vision. He'll stand up, walk out of the room, and we'll see Mara Jade is talking to one of the crew members on the ship. And we'll see, at this point, they're on the same ship as Ben and Finn. At this point, they're all together. And he'll come up to Mara Jade and he'll say basically the same thing that Leia said to Rey. We've got to get to Coruscant quick. And they'll make it their way to the bridge, and they'll talk with Ben and Finn, and they'll say, there's no way we're going to get this entire cruiser through the blockade. It's got to just be the Jedi cruisers. Nothing else is going to make it through. Only Jedi reflexes and trusting in the Force. And Ben will suggest, how about we go to Improco? How about we keep the ship at Improco, which is a ship, or not a ship, it's a planet in the same system as Coruscant. So it's another planet really, really close to Coruscant.
We are not stopping to get... What's that type of milk called?
Blue milk.
We're not getting blue milk ice cream, okay?
We're not getting turbo dogs.
Death sticks.
So Ben will suggest, how about we go to Improco? We can stop. We can hide the ship on the opposite side of Coruscant. from Coruscant, we can take the Jedi cruisers. The 4 of us go, and we get to Coruscant, and then this ship can join Leia's ship Leia's entourage whenever they arrive.
Okay.
And so they'll do that. They'll come out of light speed, and they'll come to Impraco, which again it's just another planet. And we'll see Luke, Mara Jade, Finn, and Ben's ships pull out. And this time we'll see, Luke obviously has the green Jedi Starfighter. Mara Jade has the purple one. Finn is going to have a blue one, and Ben is going to have another purple one that's just a slightly different shade from Mara Jade's.
Because Ben also has a purple lightsaber in your universe, right?
Yes, he does.
Mara Jade and him both just purple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a balance between light and dark.
I imagine he has a black R2-D2 droid, though.
Sure. Sure. That works.
I like it. I really like it. People are going to complain you haven't done a lot with Rey, but this is your story.
I know. Well, and again, just because I haven't done much with them doesn't mean that there's not stuff happening. I'm just trying to get the rough outline. And there are so many characters to try to keep track of. I'm not Brandon Sanderson. I can't.
Honestly,
I can't characters.
You're setting up to do more. You're setting up that Rey, because Adventures with Rey and Leia would be fantastic to watch.
Well, I'm imagining, between episodes 8 and 9, in this story sequence.
Do you want to do a miniseries about it?
We could do a series kind of like Clone Wars.
I will gladly talk about episodes with you on that. We could definitely do that.
I think that would be fun.
Okay.
I like it.
We'll do that soon. We'll do we will make your universe bigger. So we will make sure that Rey because I like, I can't think of the actress that plays her right now.
Daisy
Ridley. I was thinking of Ridley and flowers, and I was like, oh. And I was thinking of Samus's dragon Ridley holding a bouquet of flowers, and I was like, why? Now I know why. Everyone's gonna laugh now. Be like, I said Daisy Ridley, not Ridley with daisies. Anyway, I think that'd be fun, because I feel bad that we haven't gotten a whole lot, but also your favorite character is Luke Skywalker, and you love Leia. Why in the world, that was going to be a bad word. Why in the world would you not focus on them? Because that was who you love.
I was wrong, by the way, a couple minutes ago. I said Luke and Leia are the only Skywalker lineage, but Ben Solo.
Oh, yeah, jeez. I thought of that when you said it, but I didn't want to interrupt. So.
But yeah. So just insert Ben Solo when I said that Luke and Leia are the only ones.
I'll do a little. You're gonna hear later. Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, so they'll fly. They'll take their Jedi starships and they'll fly to Coruscant, just a couple planets away. And they'll make it through the blockade. They'll come up upon the blockade, and they'll see a bunch of Uzun ships, small fighters that start firing upon them. And the big carrier ships will also be firing their big batteries against the Jedi. They'll make it through the blockade. Very, very good flying. Obviously, Luke and Leia are the children of Anakin Skywalker, who was the best pilot in the galaxy. Luke is already a pretty good pilot. I'm sure Leia learned how to fly. Mara Jade was an assassin for the Emperor. She would definitely know how to fly. Ben Solo is a Jedi Knight whose father is Han Solo, so of course he knows how to fly.
We have very qualified pilots. If those four were all squad of X-Wings, and Han was a part of it, and Finn, those 6 altogether, that's a pretty they could probably do a lot of missions. We could probably see that.
A lot of damage.
We could probably see that in a few of our episodes someday.
Yeah, I'd like to see how Finn becomes a Jedi Knight. I'd like to see his initiation as,
instead of Clone Wars, we'll just call it the Uzun Wars.
Or Star Wars. Yeah. But yes, so we'll see the flying and the shooting, and they make it through. Sorry, I'm trying to streamline it.
The flying, the
shooting,
like freaking Doofenshmirtz for a moment, and then the flying and the flying through and the shooting, and I don't know, just remind me of them.
But they'll end up coming to the same warehouse or factory or whatever it was where Han Solo and all the others are at the moment, and they'll land next to the Falcon, where you'll see just a ton. It's just a mess. You'll see a ton of just tubes and wires and big boxes and machines and stuff hooked up, going into the factory, and we'll see Han is hooking up a couple wires and tubes and stuff to the Falcon itself, and he'll yell at Chewie to fire up the ship to see if it works, and we'll see Chewie. He'll turn on the Millennium Falcon. We'll see sparks fly. Maybe we'll see one of the wires snap in half and fly around, sparks flying out of it, and then it'll
we gotta turn it off. No, keep it going.
We'll hear Luke yell, "Chewie, shut it off," before Han kills himself. And Chewie will shut it off, and Han will look over and he'll see his buddy, and he'll walk over and they'll banter for a minute.
Give like a little bro, and he's like, "Why'd you stop me, kid? It was just about to work." Like just some crap like that.
And Poe will come out from the warehouse, and he'll kind of be like, "Oh, General Skywalker."
He's got all this. I got stuff.
He'll walk out, and he'll turn to Han and he'll say, "Signal made it through. It worked. For a second, and it stopped." And Han will point over to the wire, and before he can say anything, Mara Jade will pipe up and say, "Yeah, I think that wire broke." Or maybe it'll be Finn. Someone, one of them.
Just absolute, like, it's clear, like, something broke, and just...
I think that cable snapped.
R2 comes flying in. Absolutely distraught at what they're doing. Like,
they'll talk for a moment, and Han will point at the cable that broke and say, "Poe, fix that, secure it, run it again, try it again. We gotta keep getting that signal through so we can contact Leia and Rey.
Contact the Rebel fleet."
Yeah, pretty much. And so they'll end up talking, and Luke will pull Han aside, and he'll explain that Anakin had come to him in a dream, and he'll be talking about how they've got to prepare. Kylo Ren is coming to he'll end up at the Jedi Temple, and they're going to need to fortify the Jedi Temple, make sure it's secure, so that when Kylo Ren does show up, he's meeting opposition instead of just being able to walk through like he would be able to with the Uzun at the temple. And he'll turn to the other Jedi. Maybe we'll see Cal Kestis there, and he'll turn to Cal Kestis and he'll be like, "Kylo Ren has his knights, the Knights of Ren. I'm gonna need the Jedi to make sure that they're taken care of. No, I'm retconning that. Hold on. He doesn't say anything about the Knights of Ren. He turns to Cal Kestis and he says, the Uzun on the ground around the Jedi Temple need to be taken care of. We've got to get rid of them. Take what Jedi can fight and take care of it. When we move, that's your job.
What stance is he using?
I like to imagine the double blades, the two blades, because that's the one that I use the most.
It fits to me. I think it really does fit him. He uses his own. He uses his master's old one, and it just makes sense that he
uses Jaro Tapal's and he uses Seer Junda's.
He was a survivor. He's a very good Jedi. He's a very good character. He's probably one of the best things that's come out of Star Wars.
One of the best. He's probably the best thing that's ever come out of EA Sports.
EA Games.
EA Games. EA Games. Yes.
We're gonna get canceled down. Just kidding.
Anyway,
great character.
Very good character. Or we'll break and we'll see. They're all gonna go their separate ways. They've got the signal working, and they're gonna go into the chamber to talk with Leia, so that they can plan, make a game plan. And Finn this time will, he'll start to space out a little bit.
Oh.
And he'll be pulled into a vision, and we'll do the same kind of cut, except this time instead of going around his head, this time we'll cut from, they're going through a dark hallway. He'll start to fade a little bit, and he'll come back. And he'll turn his head, and we'll see Kylo Ren holding an odd spherical device. Did
you say this was Ben or this was
Finn?
Finn. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yes, this is Finn.
Okay.
And he'll see Kylo Ren holding a softball-sized black orb, and we'll see a bunch of red and really intense orange symbols kind of hovering just off of the surface of this orb. He'll take it and he'll hold it out for a second, and it'll begin to float, hover above his hand, and he will he'll clench his fist, and the symbols will attach themselves to the surface of this orb, kind of melting their way in just half an inch.
Sounds like witchcraft, like runes.
That's Sith alchemy.
Oh.
Sith alchemy.
I didn't know the Sith were into alchemy. Didn't know that they had some form of dark magic. I thought they kind of were proud of being pure.
Sith alchemy.
Okay.
Emperor Palpatine uses it.
Okay.
There's the episodes in the Clone Wars where Master Yoda being led by Qui-Gon's ghost.
Oh, the Darth Bane one?
Yeah, the Darth Bane episodes. Yeah, that's Emperor Palpatine is using Sith alchemy with Count Dooku to spy on. Yeah. Anyway,
that scene is awesome.
It's good, Dead and it's Mark Hamill. The symbols will the symbols will sink into the surface of this ball, and it'll drop into Kylo Ren's hands, into his hand, and he will he'll turn to an Uzun will walk up, and he'll ask, what is it? What is it? What does it do? Kylo Ren will say it's finished. It's finally done.
Would they call him Lord? I'm trying to get where they see Kylo.
Yeah, I guess they would.
Where is it, my lord? Is it just...
What is it? What is it, my lord?
Yeah.
I think that kind of fits.
Okay. Especially now that their, main dude is, gone.
Yeah.
What is it, Great Adapter?
No, it won't be. It won't be an Uzun. It'll be one of the Knights of Ren. It'll be just a dude in black armor. We'll see, the Knights of Ren like we see in Episode 9.
Is that kind of like the mask, like Darth? Just the creepy long metal masks.
Like Darth Revan?
Yes.
No.
No? Oh.
They're very old-fashioned, like, knights' helmets. Different styles and stuff.
Kind of like the weird red guys from episode 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. Well, no. They're different.
What are they called?
The Knights of Ren. But yeah, so one of them will walk up and say, "What is it?" And Kylo Ren will take a step back and he'll explain that...
Oh, okay.
He'll explain that it's a bomb charged with the dark side of the Force. If used correctly, it can wipe out all sentient life on its own in the inner systems of the galaxy. Like the inner third of the galaxy could be completely wiped out if this weapon was used at the center, just on its own. But with the connection to the Force from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, which isn't quite in the center of the galaxy, but it's close enough, it can wipe out the entire galaxy to let the Uzun rule without opposition.
But there won't be anything.
Life. There won't be life. Sentient life.
Oh, they just want it all for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
A new world, a new galaxy.
New galaxy to shape as they will. It's the same thing that the Kryptonians were trying to do with Earth.
Thanos.
Trying to reshape it.
What Thanos wanted to do at the end of Endgame, when he gave up, he's like, I will start everything over. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and the knight that is addressing Kylo Ren will say, well, the Rift ships are ready. The Uzun will be able to phase through the Rift long enough for this to go off then. And we'll learn a little bit later. We'll see, an Uzun, and this will be just a quick scene. We'll see an Uzun activating a device on the ship that will phase them through the rift, the same rift that they came through.
So they'll take shelter from wherever they came from, mm-hmm. and then let everything get done,
and then they'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Ren will turn.
Okay.
Ren will turn and look at Finn, make eye contact with Finn, and he'll say, "Now you know what I'm doing, but it's of no concern. You can't stop me." And then Finn will be thrown out of the vision, and he'll literally be thrown, force pushed across the room, which is it's a big warehouse, big enough to fit the Millennium Falcon inside it. The Millennium Falcon's not inside, but anyway, Finn will be thrown across the room against the wall, kind of denting the wall a little bit, and he'll fall to the ground. And we'll see, Luke.
I imagine lightsabers flash out. Everyone's freaking out for a split second.
We'll see lightsabers, and we'll hear yelling. What's going on? And Luke will run to Finn's side with Mara Jade and Ben Kenobi, or Ben Solo, not Ben Kenobi.
Currently, Finn is Anakin's apprentice.
Luke's apprentice.
Sorry, Luke.
He was, but he was knighted.
Oh, he's been knighted.
So
okay,
now Finn is a Jedi Knight.
Okay.
Yes, it's been a few years.
I know that I said I wouldn't do stuff, but really quick, because you have mentioned this is a big deal of how strong he is. Wouldn't it make more sense that, and I imagine he's able to, sneak his way into this vision. It's an accidental thing. There's just kind of leaks, and Finn got lucky enough to get pulled in. I feel like there wouldn't even be, eye contact. Finn would be, kind of walking
mm-hmm.
toward it, and
maybe he doesn't make eye contact with him.
Well, no, and all of a sudden, Finn's been walking in circles trying to get a view of everything, because he's, realizing, I need to walk around. I need to get as much info as I can. What his master had taught him previously mm-hmm. is always to... Anyway, point being, I just imagine while he's talking and while, the music's getting intense and while they're revealing the plan, all of a sudden Finn freezes. like we had that one Jedi freeze.
Okay, I like that.
Because it's showing how, I want to call him the Dark Lord, but the High Emperor, the Emperor from, Mistborn, just how strong he's become.
Yeah, the Lord Ruler.
The Lord Ruler. Like, we're getting, I want the Lord Ruler feel, because I want you to feel helpless.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I want him to freeze, and Kylo starts immediately talking. Well, you were lucky enough to hear everything, but it's already too late. And then just, however you want, but instead of just makes just the frozen, and doesn't even give him any, he doesn't care. Just like the Lord Ruler. Doesn't care, says his piece, and then flung. I just want the audience to be like, oh my gosh, like just in case they didn't feel it with,
with the Jedi he absolutely destroyed.
He was able to grab a Jedi's projection physically with the Force and fling him and slap him into reality. Like, slap him so hard his ancestors felt it.
Yep.
So hard that Luke, when he hits it, Luke full on, like Yoda moment, like, I feel like, because that's such an unnatural occurrence, I feel like. Like, I want it to feel like this is something that should not happen. He basically grabbed a Force ghost. Like, that sort of thing.
Yeah, he kind of did.
I want him to basically, I want the audience to be like, what word I usually say, this is insane,
Yeah, no, I get you.
I just, something like that, because I want, is the Lord Ruler too, is that too lame, or is that,
I think it feels, I think it sounds great. I like it.
I love the Lord Ruler, and if anyone's read Brandon Sanderson, I think the Lord Ruler, if he wasn't as defeated, I feel like he would be a bigger threat to the Cosmere, and he just got lucky. Vin too many names.
She did get very lucky.
And you all might get mad at me for saying that, but but he did it in such a good way. But the Lord Ruler scares me, and Kylo's starting to scare me if he's grabbing corporeal figures and flinging them back into their bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. There's another Willem tangent. Y'all can laugh. Shut up.
Luke will rush to Finn's side, and Finn he'll get up and he'll grab his side, and he'll be in pain. And he'll look up at his old master and say, Kylo Ren has a weapon that can destroy the whole galaxy. And then he'll relay some of what he saw, as much of it as he can remember.
Is it basically like a little black hole? He's condensed,
Yeah, kinda.
It's just so condensed. I don't know. I just feel like he's pushing and pushing and pushing, and its goal is just to go and just let it go. That's terrifying. I don't know. It's scary. Whatever it is, I don't like it.
Yep.
I'm scared of black holes, so that's scary. Sorry.
You're good.
I'll shut up.
But yeah, so they'll talk, and Finn will relay, what he saw, and what he heard, and Luke will turn to Mara Jade and say, "This is kind of disturbing, especially, it seems almost like Kylo Ren pulled him into this vision to show us what he's doing," and another Jedi in the back will pop up and say, "That sounds a lot like he's trying to make us feel hopeless, and it might be working." We'll hear some chatter in the back, and we'll hear some Jedi like, no, we got this, and a few others will be like, this is hopeless.
I just had a thought. What if you said that what if he did it? What if he was pulling all the weaker, non-fortified Jedis, the Jedis who aren't as fortified with their minds? What if when, oh my gosh, not Ben,
Finn?
When Finn is looking around, he sees younglings, he sees all these younger Jedi, and he's striking fear in all the younger ones, because they're not fortified. What if he was that strong that it's just
Maybe.
all the younger Jedi, and then when he sends them all, they all get flown back. A lot of kids get hurt, not like severely, but it's just enough. But it scares them. Like, what would you do to lose hope? You scare off. You try to cross everyone off and bring it by hope. And how do you like mess up a general before war? You knock out everyone's like courage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if King? Oh my goodness, the actor for him just passed away. I'm not good with Lord of the Rings characters.
Oh, King Theoden.
What if King Theoden was not able to rally the troops? What if they were all terrified? Like,
Helm's Deep would have been lost a lot earlier.
oh. Anyway, I just imagine, like, if you're just by how you mentioned, if Kylo, I feel like Kylo would do that, and he is just now, like, seeping out and like, imagine being a young Padawan. You don't know what you're doing, and you just got told by, like, Tai Lung of all people that, you know, Kung Fu's dead and there's no hope. Like, I don't know. I just imagine it would be really cool if it was not just Finn and he did it on purpose to freak all the Jedi out, to be like, F you guys, y'all gonna die. And you, Master Skywalker, are being told, like, all the kids once again are being like, Master Skywalker, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm freaking out. I'm breaking. Like, he's breaking all of them. I'm sorry. I'm so going off on tangents. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think it works. But yeah, they'll be talking, and Mara Jade will pipe up and say, well, why can't we just use the bomb against them?
Oh.
If we send it through the rift, when they phase,
that's exactly. I knew it.
We could take them out.
Oh, Tim, that's so lame. You're ripping off Avengers. Oh.
Shut up. It's not a nuke through. Yeah.
Shut up. It's fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
It's a great idea. Simple and sweet. I'll bite. Go for
it. And Ben will say, you know, that sounds really, really risky, but it might just work. You know, and then we'll hear, you know, I've got a bad feeling about this from like a couple Jedi in the back. I know we've already heard it. This
shut
episode,
up, it's funny.
But, you know, but yeah, and then we'll cut from that to Kylo Ren flying. You know, he's in a ship. And, you know, it's a very large, it's a Star Destroyer, like, huge Star Destroyer in the Uzun style. This is his ship. And he'll be flying, and, you know, they'll come out of hyperspace, and we'll see the blockade, which, just a note, this blockade around Coruscant, you know, most blockades in Star Wars, it's a handful of ships and they form kind of a ring.
Yeah.
Right? You can't hardly see the planet's surface at all. Like,
it's what Ultron was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Uzun ships completely encompassing the planet.
Coruscant, the one that they're all on currently.
Yeah.
Oh. So this is probably assuming that all the Uzun have gathered over time, so slowly.
Yes.
Are they blocking out the sun almost?
Almost.
It's getting kind of nerve-wracking.
It's a little bit darker,
and you're like,
yes. Yes, I didn't think about that, but yes, it would be. They'd be blocking the sun quite a bit.
And you just hear the and slowly, you could watch as the. Oh, is it cloudy today? No. They look up and just. Oh, that's scary.
That is scary.
Impending doom right there.
Maybe that could be one of the episodes from our thing.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren will fly to Coruscant, and he'll come up to the blockade, and the blockade will part for him, and create a spot specifically for his ship, and then he'll take his cruiser, and two others will follow after him, you know, kind of as an escort, and they'll land at the Jedi Temple. And at the Jedi Temple, we'll see a couple Jedi standing firm, lightsabers drawn. We'll see other people behind with their blasters out and ready. I like to think that some of these people, some of these soldiers with their blasters out, maybe some of them are wearing bits and pieces of old clone armor. Again, the callbacks. I've got to have it. This is my last episode.
You got one kid shooting with a stormtrooper helmet, clone trooper helmet. How the heck did they hit anything? Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, the land, and Kylo Ren will walk out of his ship, and we'll see the Knights of Ren all get out. And I forget exactly how many Knights of Ren. I believe it was 6. Hold on. But they'll get out, and they will. They'll start marching forward, and Kylo Ren will draw his lightsaber, which again, it's that double-sided Inquisitor's lightsaber, and he'll be deflecting lightsaber blasts or blaster bolts, and we'll see him force pull one Jedi, and with one hand and push, with his lightsaber hand, he'll use force push, launch the lightsaber out of this Jedi's hand. Maybe it'll impale one of the soldiers or something. Pull the Jedi to him and throw him into his lightsaber. Kind of brutal, and he'll turn to the Jedi and soldiers facing him, and he'll say, "It's time for some fun," and then we'll cut.
I think before you say that, though, and I want to Magneto moment. He takes all their blasters, all their guns, forcefully from their hands, and everything turns on them, lightsaber, blasters, and all. And then, it's time to have some fun.
Yeah.
Just Magneto-style moment, just...
Stopping all the blaster bolts, and I like it.
Oh! Like a John Wick poster, everything is pointing at him, and then slowly it all turns out, and you're like...
We will then cut, and we'll have some sequence where Luke and all of them are getting ready. Like they saw the ship come out of hyperspace, and they know it's go time. They'll get ready. They start to fly in toward the Jedi Temple. And
again, everyone is on Coruscant, right?
Everybody except Leia
and Rey.
Except Leia and Rey.
Okay.
Yes, everybody's on Coruscant. And we'll see, we'll see Han clasp hands with Luke, and they'll say, "Take care of each other," or "Take care of yourself."
Like the epic meme.
We yeah. Take care of yourself. Don't do anything dumb. Don't do anything stupid.
How can I do anything stupid?
You taking it all with you. Stupid with you. But we'll have something like that, and then they'll all take off. We will see. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Back when Finn was being thrown, we could see Rey and Leia talking to Luke through the holo projector, so the signal was able to get out. And then Finn was thrown. And then, so Rey and Leia will arrive, and we'll see, so Luke and all of them are going to take off in their ships, and they're going to make their way toward the Jedi Temple, or hear the and we're going to see hundreds of ships coming out of hyperspace, all different kinds. Most of them are really, really small, but there will be a couple, there might be a Star Destroyer and a couple Venator class starships from the Clone Wars, and we'll see
the Death Star.
We'll see the Death Star and Starkiller Base.
Majora's Moon comes out of nowhere.
And we'll see Alderaan, of all things.
It'll be awesome. The Tower of Sauron just comes down. Sorry.
Anyway, they'll all come out of hyperspace and immediately begin to fire upon the Uzun ships. And we'll see, they'll be outmatched, they'll be outnumbered, but it's all they need to do at the moment is create...
Stall.
Yeah, they need to stall. They need to create a distraction. They need to take out as much as they can, do what they can. And we'll have a fun sequence where Han and Chewie are in the Millennium Falcon, and Poe is in his X-wing, and they'll be flying, and they'll break through, since the distraction came. They'll break through the barricade from beneath, and we'll see Leia and Rey's 2 starships pass Han and Poe, and they'll look and they'll nod at each other, and we'll see a smile on Leia's face, and, as they kind of trade spots, because flying is Han's domain and the diplomatic is Leia's, and Leia is going to make
diplomacy with these fists.
There'll be a bunch of fights, and we'll see Leia and Rey will land at the Jedi Temple next to the other Jedi starships, and they'll get out, and they'll meet up with their with everybody else. They'll fight a bunch of Uzun that are coming in, and we'll see the Knights of Ren walk out. Also, there are 6. I checked.
They don't have the 4. So Kylo is one of them. Even in the
he is the
movies,
master of the Knights of Ren.
So there's 7 in total, including him.
Yes.
I saw their masks. They all look like his.
Yeah, they look like his, but a little bit more medieval.
Yeah, I like it.
And each one is a little different.
And they didn't get introduced until the 9th movie.
Yeah.
But you've had them in the beginning.
Yeah, I like to think that through 7 and 8 we've seen them around.
Maybe every now and then we've seen like a single one. So are they like the sisters?
They're kind of like the Inquisitors, yeah.
Okay.
They're kind of like the Inquisitors.
Sorry, this sounds so... The 9th movie just sounds chaotic. I haven't seen it. I like this version.
It is chaotic.
Way more already, and people are like, No, I like Tim's version way more already. Anyway, okay. Do they use lightsabers, or what do they use?
I can't actually remember, because I haven't seen Episode 9 since it was in theaters, because I was disappointed in it. I don't think they used lightsabers. I think it was
Beskar
other
weapons.
It was probably like Beskar weapons.
I imagine one has to have a giant axe made out of Beskar. That's just
yeah.
what I
We can see one with a giant axe. We can see one with a spear. Maybe one does have a lightsaber. If I remember right, they had like electro staff type weapons.
They got them Beskar. One of them's got the weapon that Darth Maul used, and his helmet has horns, and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Knights of Ren will show up, and Luke will turn to Leia and Mara Jade and say, the 3 of us are going after Kylo Ren. You 3, pointing at Rey, Ben, and Finn, take out the Knights of Ren.
Yes. Well, that's satisfying.
Yeah.
Just Ben fighting the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
He does it in the new one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Well, this one's going to be better.
Yep, it will be.
Yeah, it's a perfect version of it, I guess. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually with Rey. And did they have any relationship in this one or not?
They can, sure.
We
maybe a little.
We haven't filled out the bits and pieces. It's been kind of chaotic with the giant war going. So
yeah. Well, and there's a lot going on and I don't want to take up
no love triangle?
much time. No, there will be no love triangles.
Not in my house. Sorry.
But yeah, so they'll Finn and his group will run off, and they'll begin to fight the Knights of Ren. And the keen the keen-eyed viewer will notice that when there were 6 Knights of Ren, now there are 5. But these guys won't notice. Anyway, they'll go fighting, and Luke and his group will go in to the Jedi Temple to face Kylo Ren, and they will find they'll find Kylo Ren standing, in a very large room. I'm imagining, like the Senate room or something. Or not the Senate room. Sorry, the council room, like the Jedi Council room. And there will be one of the Knights of Ren there. And this Knight of Ren will be holding the... I'm just going to call it the Force Bomb, the anti-Force Bomb.
The anti-life equation.
Yep. He'll be holding the anti-Force Bomb, and Luke will turn to Mara Jade and say, "You got it?" "Yeah, I got it." Oh, crap, I forgot something that my dad really wanted me to add.
Oh.
I'll get back to this in a moment. Cut back to... Rewind. Cut back to when, Luke, Mara Jade, Finn, and Ben are flying through and trying to break through the blockade. We'll see, we'll see expert flying from Luke and Mara Jade, and Luke will, as he's getting shot at, will use the Force and stop the blaster bolts, the big lasers that are coming at his ship, right? And he'll stop them, fly around him, and let him go. And Mara Jade will be like, "Nice, I'll do you one better," and she'll stop the blaster, the bolt as it's coming out of the ship, and the ship will fly into it.
I was so dumb. I'm so sorry. I was like, Mara doesn't have the... Oh, yeah, she does. She does have the Force.
She does have the Force. Anyway, that's something my dad thought would be really fun.
Wait, she sent it back?
No, so the Uzun ship is flying in, right, and it's shooting at her. Mm-hmm. She'll stop the lasers, and so the Uzun ship will fly into its own lasers, blowing itself up. Anyway, there you go, Dad. I didn't forget. I did, but I didn't.
He did forget.
But yeah, so we'll... Anyway,
Fast forward back to Mara Jade with the Knight of Ren.
Mara Jade will rush this knight, and I'm imagining this knight is just straight up wielding a sword. Classic blade, like steel blade kind of thing.
Like a knight?
Like a knight.
Full-on double-edged sword.
And I'm imagining, like obviously Star Wars-ify it will make it so that, like, the edges are crackling with, like, a reddish energy.
There's not really I feel like a crossguard would still work.
It would have a crossguard.
It would have full-on just a sword. Doesn't know. Yeah. If it's just made out of Beskar, that'd be terrifying.
I'm thinking, what I'm seeing in my head is he pulls out the sword, and he kind of flicks his wrist a little bit, and then the reddish electricity kind of shoots up the edges of the blade.
And this could be a funny little play on Lord of the Rings. She looks at it. Oh, does it shine red whenever a Jedi's close by?
Could. I feel like we'd get in trouble for that.
No,
maybe. Anyway, they'll start to fight, and Luke and Leia will rush Kylo Ren, and it'll be a big fight. I'm not going to choreograph the fight. I'm not going to talk, speak it.
As he eloquently jumps over and backflips, he stabs into his spine and pulls it. Like, no, we're not doing that.
They'll fight, and they'll start the fight, and
what are some things you'd want to see in this fight, at least?
I would love to see a lot of just athletic jumping around from both Luke and Leia. I'd love to see Luke and Leia both masterfully blocking Kylo Ren, but Kylo Ren also masterfully using lightsaber, also using the Force to push them both.
Why does the other knight have the bomb, or are you tricking me?
Oh, he has it, just for fun, just for kicks and giggles. So that he can set it off while Luke and Leia fight Kylo Ren. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll have the fight. Is he
gonna like kamikaze himself then? Is that kind of the end goal, or with that night? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to kind of. I know this is just a rough draft.
It's more. While the Jedi are distracted fighting Kylo Ren, he was gonna sneak in, or not sneak in, but he was gonna walk into the center of the temple and activate it, which gives a little bit of a countdown timer thing. As the runes, as each of the red symbols pull off and begin to hover on the outside of the orb again, that's kind of the countdown. That would give the Uzun fleet enough time to phase, so the bomb can go off.
I imagine. So do they pull off and then slowly fade, and then when it gets to like,
it's more they pull off the off the surface of the orb and hover there like half an inch off, or an inch off of the orb, and then they glow brighter and brighter until they begin to touch each other and then become one, and then the black orb is covered by this red shell. But we'll see that happen.
Okay, sorry, and I'm sorry for like asking.
No, you're fine.
I'm actually just generally curious, and I'm betting these guys are too. And it's like I just want to know. I just want to know what's going on. I'm getting excited. It's getting near the end, and so I just don't want it to be like, oh, he's just gonna like.
No, I get you. But yeah, so we'll cut between this group, and we'll cut between Finn and Mara Jade, like those three groups. So Luke and Leia, Mara Jade, and then Finn, Ben, and Rey. We'll cut to Finn defeating the last of the Knights of Ren. Obviously, we'll have a fight, and the fight will happen on both sides, and we'll see all three groups having their fight. And then after the fight goes on for a minute, we'll cut to Finn defeating the last of the Knights of Ren, after Ben is seriously injured. It's not fatal or anything, but he's seriously injured, kicked to the side. Maybe he's stabbed through the stomach or something, or I don't know, something. Maybe he gets his hand cut off, classic classic Star Wars style. And Rey will, rush over to defend him, make sure that he doesn't, he isn't finished off. And Finn will come in, and somehow Finn will kill this last Knight of Ren. I'm imagining maybe like the Knight of Ren goes and he disarms Rey, and then as he's about to strike the finishing blow, Finn comes in and cuts off the Knight's hand, throwing his weapon to the side, and impales him straight through the chest, and then force pushes him back against the wall. Something cool like that.
You know what I imagine in the background, music-wise? I imagine, and this might be lame, and you might, the tone. We can't really make sounds because I don't want to get us in trouble. But I call it just Luke's tune.
Yeah, the Force theme.
The Force theme. I imagine that's like the undertone. Like it's kind of a build-up, but as you've noticed, you just hear the imagine the notes here, everyone. Just the no, like that kind of thing, So technically, I was very deaf-toned with that, so that's all fine. Can get it. But that's for some reason, I just imagine this big fight in defense of the Force. That would be...
Maybe it could be like a twisted version of it.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. Like, you notice it. Like, it starts off all chaotic, almost like Duel of the Fates sort of thing. But then you start realizing, as they're all kind of winning and prospectively, like, you have a lightsaber flash, and, like, Mara Jade flashes purple, and it shows, and it transitions smoothly to Kylo's. And then you see this blue interrupt, and the blue turns into Luke's. Like, because you have so many people who share colors, and then sparks from weapons dinging will transition to Leia's orange. I think you said orange. Was it orange?
No, blue.
Blue? Yeah.
Leia has blue.
So blue, purple. What does Rey have?
Rey also has blue.
Okay, so it could easily transition from blue, purple, green. It would work so smooth. Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely. It would work perfect.
And my only suggestion would be Mara Jade's hand. I don't know why, but I feel like it'd be just hilarious if she lost the opposite hand of Luke. And it's just kind of like, and he totally teases her about it. And because like maybe after all those years of, and it could happen way later, like the end of the movie, that joke's got to be made. Either Mara or, did you say Rey or Finn?
I said Ben.
Ben. Oh wow, I was off. I mean, if Ben does it, then it'd be funny to be like,
it's a Skywalker thing.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it happens in our family. All the Skywalker men, we gotta lose our hands. And then Leia's like, but the women don't, and she high fives freaking.
She high fives Mara Jade. Yes, I like it.
The girls don't high five. Oh wait, you can't.
Yes, I love it.
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, after that sequence, we'll cut to Mara Jade, and she'll defeat him, cut him down, and I'm imagining like he's started to set it off, while they're fighting, and so the symbols are starting to go.
Yeah, she thinks he hasn't started yet. She walks up to the body, all huffing and puffing, and looks down.
She looks down and she can see some of the symbols starting to peel off of the surface and glow. She's like, crap. And so she's gonna take off, and she's gonna run out to her. She's gonna run outside with it, and then we're gonna cut to Luke and Leia, and they're gonna be fighting Ren, and we're also gonna cut to Poe and Han, and they're gonna be blasting the Uzun ships.
And Chewie, I'm assuming Chewie is flying, and those two are just shooting.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Do we have Han flying? And
I'm imagining Han and Chewie are in the cockpit. Poe is in his own ship.
Oh, my bad.
But I'm imagining Han and Chewie are in the cockpit, and then maybe
Poe is like corkscrewing around.
Yeah, maybe a couple other soldiers are there.
Mando's ship
manning the maybe, but they're manning the guns, taking them out. And we'll see a lot of ships just blowing up, getting destroyed on both sides of the fight. And it'll be a good fight, and they'll keep going, and things will get dire as they always do for Han Solo, and he'll do something stupid that ends up, it doesn't kill anybody, but it comes really, really, really close. And we'll cut back to Mara Jade, and she'll run out. She's outside. She runs to her ship, gets in, tells KT to take off. And they take off. Yep, I remembered. They take off, and she expertly, maneuvers and lands on one of the Uzun ships, one of the Uzun like Star Destroyer type ships, the big carriers. She'll land, and she'll take out a bunch of the Uzun that are in the hangar bay, and she'll rush off, and she'll use the Force, pull down a I'm imagining like an air vent. She'll pull it down and just huck the thing, the Force, the anti-Force bomb through the air vent, and then she'll run and tell KT, take off, go, and she gets in and they take off. And at this point, the Uzun ships are beginning to phase out, and so it's starting to phase out with her in the hangar still, and she's like, crap, I'm not gonna make it. And then she barely makes it out. as the ship phases out.
So they're phasing. So were they phasing in the? I kind of always imagined like a Phil Cipher like door.
Oh, originally it was.
Okay.
But now they've installed that same technology on every ship, and so it can just phase through, phase into the other area without a door.
Okay. So what is wrong with where they came from? Why did they want here?
It's empty.
It's empty. So maybe some...
And we can mention that.
Yeah, so they are like terrified, like, you do not... they maybe even the general question.
They say something about...
You won't
there'll be nothing
us again.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Kylo Ren is talking to Sek in episode 8, and he's like,
a brief period.
It'll be very, very short, and Kylo Ren will be like, there will be nothing left when I'm done with this, or when we've succeeded, and Sek will be like, no, I came from nothing. This will not be nothing.
Oh,
something like that.
There will be nothing there will be no life. There will be nothing, and then we came from nothing.
Yeah,
just
something like that.
Scary. You do not know the word nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what were they doing? What were they like? Was it just their ships? The questions I want to know. Mm-hmm. I love it.
But yeah, and then we'll cut back to Ren fighting Leia and Luke, and he will disarm both of them with one quick stroke, and maybe he'll slash Luke across the chest and throw him back. Not fatal. Again, not fatal. I
honestly feel like he could just pull their weapons from them. Like
maybe he does.
He was playing with them.
Yeah, maybe he does.
Just enough.
Pulls their weapons and drops them off the edge of the temple,
or even just
maybe I don't know. Something.
I feel like there's an unspoken rule: you don't really break your opponent's weapon.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like a kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So either I imagine
maybe throw him out the window or
breaks him.
Buckles, puts him on his belt.
Oh, that would be cool.
Add to his collection.
I wish I would have gotten the last. All 3 Skywalker lightsabers.
Maybe all 4, and you see Anakin's lightsaber on his belt.
Oh,
that could be cool. I can't remember if I already did something with Anakin's lightsaber, but
I think you had it in a treasure room somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, they'll fight, or the fight will be drawing to an end. And Luke will say something to the effect of, you may have disarmed us, but you weren't paying attention where we led you. And he'll put his hands out and say, this is the nexus of force power in this temple. You're at your weakest here, and Kylo Ren will say, "What are you talking about? I'm at my strongest here."
And just to imagine, he starts bending,
starts pulling things down, cracking the walls and stuff. Yeah, and Luke or Leia will say, "No, you really are at your weakest here," and we'll see kind of a blue shimmer behind Kylo Ren, and we'll hear Anakin's voice say, "You may be invulnerable, or you may be fortified against the real world, but not against the Force." And we'll see Anakin's ghost kind of grab Kylo Ren from behind and start to pull him into the Force. Just pull him into the ether. And Kylo Ren will, freak out. No, you can't do this. I can't be stopped.
I imagine he starts getting pulled away. Are you gonna have?
I'm imagining it's just Anakin.
Oh, you don't want
to imagine more? Because, and I said this in episode 8, Kylo Ren says to Sek in Episode 8, I had a vision. I keep having these visions of Anakin Skywalker defeating me. I said that in Episode 8.
You did. That's true.
And maybe in that moment, Sek will be like, it's probably just his offspring, and you're probably wrong. You're stronger than all of them, or you will be, etc.
I mean, he is the chosen one.
He is the chosen one. That's my whole point. Like, I want Anakin to do this because he is the chosen one.
Because Darth Bane came out in that one vision to Yoda, but that was like a real thing, wasn't it? That for a bit there was something coming out and could hurt Yoda.
Kind of.
But I mean, that was kind of.
This is
if this was a kind of, then this is Kylo actually Ren.
This is Kylo Ren having become as close to being one with the Force as possible. You know, he's
a balloon filled up with so much water. All you have to do is pop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so Anakin, being in the room where that is the nexus of the Force of the temple, of the connection to the Force in this Jedi temple, Anakin will actually have the opportunity to affect.
It's kind of like Imhotep getting his spirit pulled out of his body.
Yeah.
So is he pulling his spirit?
He's pulling him.
So his whole
body.
You going away.
Yeah, so we'll see Kylo Ren being pulled, and we won't see the face, but his helmet will drop as his head just becomes blue mist as it becomes one with the Force. And the 6 rods, which we'll see the 2 in the arms, 2 in the legs, and we'll see 1 in the chest and 1 in the back. And it'll just all 6 of these Force inhibitors, the rods, will drop to the ground. Kylo Ren's helmet, we'll hear him scream no because classic villain death. His helmet will slam to the ground. And that'll be the end of Kylo Ren, and then we'll cut to the Uzun, in the infinite nothing, and they'll say something to the effect of the bomb should go off any minute now. We'll see some higher ups. Maybe we've seen them before talking to Kylo Ren or something. The destruction of everything living should happen any moment now. And then it'll go off and it'll tear them apart. It won't destroy the ships, but it will kill every single Uzun, tearing them, incinerating them, disintegrating them.
It's literally the anti-life equation. It just except
Thanos. It's the Thanos snap.
Yes, it's what Thanos. It's what Darkseid. It's what they want to be able to do, is be able to control who gets life, who doesn't.
Yeah,
that's scary. So all the ships will just stay there. Maybe they have it set to a timer. You know what you should do is it's on a timer, and then they'll head back, and so everyone's all celebrating. They're gone, yay! And then the ships, and everyone's like, nah! And then when they go into the ships, they're just empty.
Nah.
All right. Nope, that makes more sense.
It makes more sense
that they're just gone. There's and it would be so sad because, and you can have a backdrop. You can have so it's pitch black. All the ships are there. And you hear kind of almost Prince of Egypt, all of them yelling, and then
something like that.
And I want movie theater when it goes dead quiet, it's dead quiet. The whole theater goes, and then you accidentally drop all your change on the floor, and the audience screams. That was me. It was bad. It was bad, and everyone made fun of me. Anyway, that's I like it, and if people are sitting there going, that's kind of a cheesy, it's I would take this
over what we got.
Palpatine being cloned, being Rey's clone grandfather,
And it's whatever. I like this. It makes more sense. Mm-hmm. He was becoming so in one with the Force that when he's at the epicenter, the chosen one came.
Yeah.
Who also was pretty powerful in life and in death, and said, "You're mine."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. You wanted and all since it's like Jafar with the genie lamp.
Yeah, and since Kylo Ren was a dark side Force user, he could never become a Force ghost. So when he's pulled into the Force, his essence is just dispersed into the living Force.
So how come Emperor Palpatine could talk to people?
He's not supposed to.
Ah.
in my headcanon, like the whole point that's the whole reason I used Palpatine's lightsabers for Kylo Ren to talk to Palpatine.
He wasn't ever talking to him.
No, it was just kind of like a memory that he was talking to, getting ideas and feeding off of the knowledge. So, but yeah, so that'll be the end, and it'll be, they'll end up celebrating on Coruscant. We'll see, like in episode 1, right? We see the celebration, right? And in episode 6, we see the celebrations on all the different planets. And
episode 4, we also get a separation. Yeah. There's always separation. Freaking Ewoks come out of nowhere. No.
Yeah, I'm imagining. We have a big celebration. Everybody's happy and yeah. I don't.
There's just no big explosion. There's just silence.
Yeah. Well, it would be it's almost like an EMP.
Oh.
But for life.
Oh.
In one of the Clone Wars episodes, they have a bomb that functions that way. It's called the defoliator bomb.
Oh.
And it burns life. It incinerates everything that's alive, and it leaves the droids standing. It was one of the episodes. It's in season. It's end of season 1, beginning of season 2. Clone Wars or something.
I just think the vision of absolute silence on one end, and then it turns over to the armies of our lovely characters, and they're all cheering. Just the stark difference. Mm-hmm. Absolute, not destruction on one end. It's just absolute decimation and silence, and then celebration on the other. Just two perfect, balanced sides. Living, full of life, empty, and nothing. I like it. And it's like Oath of Balance.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Very balanced. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very creepy. Did we win? Yeah, I think we won.
Yeah. So, that is my episode 9.
Oh, so it's just really just going to end with like everyone hugging and
the celebration. Everybody's hugging. Everybody's happy. Obviously, every good Star Wars movie has to have the death of a main character, but
no.
I don't know. I feel too attached to these guys to.
And it's your story, Tim. I feel like this is very well done. I really liked it.
And like, if we really wanted to, we could have someone sacrifice themselves to set off the bomb. But I don't think it's needed.
No.
I like the very narrow escape from Mara Jade. I like how it ended. I'm proud of what I've created, what I've come up with.
You could even have while Mara is fighting, it almost seems like she's gonna die,
mm-hmm.
and she even we gotta go, and she jumps, and it kind of phases in and out, and she jumps, and there's no time for her to get to her ship or something, I don't know, but she jumps out into space, and she's just full on floating, and you see the ship being piloted by the little robot, but the whole time though, she's conveying with Luke. Luke's fighting. Luke's getting distracted because and she we have a monologue in her head. Luke,
if you can hear me, I love you. And then just like jump. And like, sorry, I couldn't make it. And then she like, it phases and she's sitting there. She goes, this is a nice way to go. And then just you hear the little, you see the ship like tap her.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Just something like that. Like, I am okay with close calls. You know, Ben sitting there, getting stabbed, run through, and you're just like, nah. Just those three working together, though, to defeat these opposite things of what Ben was supposed to be, you know, I'm using quotation marks for the other movie. I like it. There's no Emperor. There was a force that just wanted to destroy everything. They seemed to be just this race that didn't care. They probably were. I honestly think they got banished to that place because of what they were doing. Who knows? We'll have to figure out more. We'll have to write more about them. Mm-hmm. But for what this is, I like it. Maybe someday we'll get to expound on it without getting sued. But I think this is the safest we can be without really doing anything. So, but good job, Tim.
Thanks. And thanks for the ideas and the help.
I will always give it. I feel like I need to kick up on something soon. I'm not doing Spider-Man next week. Maybe I'll surprise you guys. We'll see. But do you have anything else to say to these guys?
Not really.
Are you tuckered out?
I am. Again, just be kind, love each other, take care of each other. May the force be with you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. And with that, we will see you later, pitches. Bye.
Goodbye.